So today I want to talk about 4 ways to maximize your momentum towards getting Salesforce certified and hired this year. So let's get started. Tip number 1 is you should treat this like a job. Your pursuit of getting certified and or hired in the Salesforce ecosystem is not a pursuit to be taken lightly. It's not for the faint of heart and it's not easy. There is no easy button in these endeavors. So there's going to be days that you're not going to feel like studying. There's going to be days that you feel like doing something else, like Netflixing and chilling, rather than working through my coursework or working through Trailhead or logging into Salesforce. Now, of course, you can always take a day off here or there, perhaps, but the more days you take off, the more you're going to lose that momentum. So the trap that I see a lot of my students fall into is that they wait for inspiration or to feel inspired before putting in the effort. The problem with that is that your inspiration is few and far between. A lot of this work that you do is not going to be glamorous. You're not going to think it's very fun sometimes, but in the end, you'll be glad that you've done it. So treat it like a job. That's tip number 1. Now on to tip number 2. So second tip is to not procrastinate. And this kind of plays off the first tip of treating this like a job. I see many of my students procrastinate, especially towards studying for the certification exam. And then they decide that they're going to cram at the last moment to try to make up for all those days that they took off. But do put in time daily on the platform. That keeps your momentum up and maximizes your momentum towards getting certified. It's not easy to take a week or a month off of the platform because then it's like you're starting all over. You've lost that momentum. So I find how it works best for me whenever I'm pursuing a certification is to just slowly and steadily and methodically be working through the material that I need to learn, whether that's studying for certification or even putting together a course for a certification. The longer that I spend outside of the mindset of recording or studying towards a certification, then it's like I'm having to get reacquainted with the material and start all over. And so I don't want you to lose your momentum here this year. If you're trying to get one or multiple certifications or trying to get hired, you want to keep pushing against that every day and showing up daily. Third tip is I encourage you to check out my self-assessment checklist. I've got it over my shoulder here, and I've been putting that together for the past several weeks, and I've been going through the exam guide, and this is specific to the Salesforce Administrator certification. So this is for those of you that are specifically pursuing your first Salesforce certification, because typically people start with the admin certification. I've not been able to find anything like this in the world, and the world needs this, so I've taken it upon myself to create this. And as a self-assessment checklist, so you can go through each line item in the exam guide and each bullet point and each sub-item on the bullet point and assess where you're at on all those different topics and categories. And if you're prepared and ready to take the exam, I think this will be an invaluable tool for many to be able to see where they're at in their journey, and then as they're working through my coursework and Trailhead and other resources, able to see that you're moving the needle towards that passing level score. And eventually the end goal in using the checklist is not just to pass an exam, but to master all of the material that is on the administrator exam, because that represents someone that has an advanced and deep understanding of the platform that will make you more readily hireable as well. So you can get the checklist by clicking the link down below in the description, and I'll get that right to you. You can print that out and fill that out and assess where you're at in your own journey. And finally, tip number 4 is that you need to make this a priority. Now, the things that you prioritize in your life get done, and the things that aren't very important to you do not get done. Those are things that are left undone year over year. So this is the year that you're to get Salesforce certified and hired. And to do that, you've got to make that a priority. That means carving out time that you would devote to something else otherwise. So you've got to really equate, is what you're doing with your time serving the end goal of investing in your future and investing in your career? Is a great opportunity to pivot to a cloud career. And to me, Salesforce is the most attainable path to a cloud career, even today, and especially today, now that we are in a new world. We find ourselves in this next normal, as they call it, due to the pandemic. And because of that, a lot of companies are moving to Salesforce and retiring antiquated systems. And as well, Salesforce has actually grown in revenue 26% year over year compared to the previous year. And that is during the COVID pandemic as well. And that is reflective of all these companies embracing a remote workforce because of necessity, and as well looking at trying to realize savings by retiring old systems and converting them over into the cloud as well. Salesforce is a great tool for that, and so Salesforce is actually thriving during the pandemic as far as new customers and increased revenue. So jobs are not going away, they're only accelerating and increasing. And so now is the time to get Salesforce certified and hired this year, right now. All right, so that's the 4 tips. You want to treat it like a job, you don't want to procrastinate, you want to use the self-assessment checklist, and you want to make it a priority. All right, if you would, please like this video, leave a comment if you found it helpful, if you have any feedback, and as well, be sure and click subscribe and click the bell so that you're alerted to all my forthcoming videos that are coming out soon. And be sure and check out the self-assessment checklist link down below. Thanks.